Game day.
Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to another post-game show. Wait a minute, the divisional round post-game show. 7th straight AFC Championship game post-game show. We got Quentin, we got Phillip, we got Thiz running the show, and we're winning. We're rolling. We're on the way. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Feels great to be back, man. It almost feels like a month since I've actually done a podcast episode. Been away taking care of some family business and personal stuff. So glad to be back, especially in time for this moment here. Three-peat inevitable, baby. Let's go.
Yep. Man, Andy Reid, 300 wins.
3-0.
You know what? I look at this game and I thought, man, offense isn't looking too good in the first half. Defense allowing some yardage on the ground. Maybe it is just being out of sync. You know, they haven't played in a while. And then they just kicked it in and they took it over. And it's all really – and look, man, you can't take nothing away from that Texans team.
No.
That is a good organization, a good football team with a good head coach and a great quarterback. And they got a phenomenal defensive line. You can't take nothing away from them. It's a good win. Good win.
I would like to point out that the Chiefs defense still is not allowed a 100-yard running back rusher. Joe Mixon ended the game with 88 yards. So they kept him under the century mark. So that streak continues. Yep. The 300 for Andy Reid. I mean, look, Andy Reid is not very sentimental about those things. He's talked about that every time he gets asked about his, legacy that he's going to leave behind in post-game shows or weekly press conferences. He always avoids answering the question. I don't think he's very comfortable with answering those. So, somebody will ask him either after this game or during the week, and he'll sort of blow it off. But for us,
it's just another game to him.
Right. And for us as fans and for him after he's done, I mean, he will be talked about as one of the top coaches of all time. I think he has a chance to be the greatest coach of all time with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. And it is a big deal. And it's unfortunate that we won't get to see his true reaction to it until after he's done, which hopefully is many, many years from now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's not big on accolades, which is a weird thing for anybody. I mean, but you know what? Really, Bill Belichick was never huge on accolades. He never made a big deal about it.
Right.
The greats really don't. They just move on. It's another game. It's another day. It's another Sunday, however you want to look at it. He's just the most calm, mellow guy I've ever seen as a winning head coach. I don't think I've ever seen a head coach with the ability to stay so calm under pressure. I know he kind of has to some degree, but damn, man, he just very rarely gets upset. Just doesn't get upset.
And he made a couple of great coaching decisions today that are not going to get talked about a lot. The one, Ariza getting the safety, right? You just taking that ball, you run back into the end zone, you're up by double digits, right? When you're up by 11, the 2 points literally does nothing for the Texans. So being able to do that, that's coaching right there. The other one was him challenging that ruling on the field as a catch or not, because, that's one of those instances. Look, you're up by double digits. You're up by 2 scores. Your timeouts don't mean anything to you. You're not going to need them.
Absolutely.
So the risk of the clock was already stopped. So you weren't worried about stopping the clock for the Texans. So the fact that the risk reward there is massive. If you can prevent the Texans from moving the ball down the field and having that count as a completion, if you can take that away from them, that's massive. And that's a coaching thing. That's a clock management thing. That's just knowing, when it's the right time to do something like that. And I don't think that not every NFL head coach is doing that. I'm sure a lot of them would, right? But it's those small things that we saw today that really made the difference. And Kansas City was never really in a position to lose this game. And a lot of it was due to coaching. I know Steve Spagnuolo, I'm sure we're going to talk about him. So let's just go ahead and have that conversation, right? Kansas City ended the game with 8 sacks. We're going to get to our offense and defensive MVPs here in a moment. I'm sure that I know which one player that you guys are probably going to end up taking. But the fact that once again we're in a playoff game and the Texans have to throw the ball, and you're just blitzing, and then on that like 3rd and 6 in the red zone, you just held back. It's perfect play calling because the Texans had to prepare for a blitz. They had to keep an extra guy in. So you drop back, take a receiver out of the play, and George Karlaftis was still able to get home. It's phenomenal coaching, phenomenal play calling, and it's those things that make a difference when you get to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Man, you know, in the first half of this game, I was thinking, man, we were playing so vanilla on defense, and I was a little surprised. Spags wasn't pushing the envelope very much, and he was just playing to play, I guess, to a degree. And then when he started coming up with those blitzes, left and right, just boom, 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 it just seemed like he just got into his bag of tricks, and he said, you know what? They scored on us a little bit. They ran on us a little bit. Let's just put an end to this now.
Right.
And that's what he did. Man, everybody wants to talk about how great the players are, which they are. There's no doubt. Would they be this great if they had different coaching? Probably not. I mean, it's that simple. You can take Chris Jones out of the equation, take Trent McDuffie out of the equation. Everybody else on this football team, well, with the exception of maybe Omenihu, and take everybody else off this team. How well are they going to do? You're not going to see this level of performance unless you have coaching the way that we have. Some of these guys, most people don't even know who they are. Not too many people know who Cook is. Not too many people know who Jalen Watson is, for that matter.
Nor
Definitely
Jaden
not a
Hicks.
household name. Nor Jaden Hicks, which we've been talking about since the draft, that he was going to be a star.
3 interceptions in like 300 snaps, and that's more than Justin Reed, but he's already letting it be known that, that's my spot next season. So
yeah, that's exactly what he's done. I'm telling you, man, it's all about the coaching, and it's all about the professionalism, and this team has it. It's crazy to think that we've had some great coaches. Marty Schottenheimer was a great guy, personally great guy, great coach, but he was never the guy. No matter where he was at, he was never that guy that could get you over the hump. Love the man to death. I learned a lot from him. But damn, man, I mean, this is a whole new level of coaching that nobody else has. It's now you know why everybody has all these coaches have a cot at the stadium. They all got a bed, and there's a reason why, because they never fucking leave. They just don't leave, man. It's amazing to me that we're in this position as a football team. Okay, did any of us ever expect this? I mean, I'm older than both you dudes, and I can tell you now. Yeah, suck it. I can tell you now, man, I never expected to see this. When Mahomes came in, I thought, okay, we got a shot. But Jesus, I never thought we'd have a shot every fucking year. I didn't think that in 18. I didn't even think that in 19 when we won. Then it just, it was kind of like, okay, this is different. And now here we are 7 years later, 7 years as a starter, 7 AFC championship games. 7 years, man.
He's literally
I've been to 5.
His quickest out in the playoffs is overtime in the AFC championship game. So
dude, he's second all time in playoff wins.
We need to get it, baby. Let's get it.
That's right.
Let's get it, man. Shoot.
God, I mean, and look where Travis Kelce is right now. Think
35 is another number, man. I'm like,
he is clawing to get after all of those important playoff stats. Already has the receptions. Got one closer to the touchdown today. Got 100. He got 100 yards closer to the receiving. So 117 yards. Had his longest playoff catch and run. At 49 yards.
Man.
Plus that touchdown. That was vintage Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I say vintage, but I mean, it was he's getting tackled. Guy has both of his ankles, and so he's
He's
falling
still
like
throwing that ball.
he's falling like a 2x4 in a storm, right? He's just collapsing, and he's able to put all of his arm strength into that ball and throw a beam in between three guys to Travis Kelce, who I swear was just standing there like a field goal post.
Yeah.
And was
Yeah,
able
he really was.
to catch it. So,
It was like
yeah,
he had his hands in his pocket waiting for a fucking bus to show up. I've never seen somebody that finds an opening the way he does. He just figures out a way of just being in the right place at the right
he's
time.
not a guy that is great against man coverage, but man, can he? I mean, he finds the soft spot in zones like nobody. I've never seen anything like it. It is, and like I said, or I said this to my friends. I was like, Travis Kelce runs like a bookshelf with arms. I don't understand
He
how
really
he's able to juke
He
people out.
do.
He's so blocky when he runs. He looks like Steve from Minecraft. I don't understand how he's able to outrun people, but he's able to do it. And with one little shimmy, one quick juke
that
out,
wiggle.
he really
That damn
he's
wiggle,
able to
man.
he's able to get
That
out of
juke
so many
move.
bad positions. It is incredible. It is the most powerful tool in his toolbox. It has created so many yards after catch. I mean, we saw that with the 49-yard catch and run today. It is phenomenal what he's able to do.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
talk about one thing that he's done that no one else in the history of the sport has done as a well, especially as a tight end, but as even a wide receiver. 14 straight playoff games with 70 plus yards. 14. You know who the second closest to him is? Antonio Brown with 7. 14 playoff games with 70 plus yards. That's
It's
insane,
incredible.
man. And he's a fucking tight end. I mean, you shouldn't be able to be that good at his not only at his age but at his position. You don't see tight ends do that, but he
No, a
does.
lot of guys you don't even get the opportunities to do so. Like today
No.
he had 7 receptions. It's not like he's getting the ball 14, 15 times a game. He's getting half
Yeah.
the targets that you would expect for those kind of numbers. It's incredible.
And not only that, Jerry Rice, let's just talk about that. I watched that man play from the day he started until the day he quit. 20 solid years in the NFL as a wide receiver. Kelsey's in his 12th season. One season injured, so we might as well just say 11, I guess. And he's a couple catches away from breaking another one of Jerry Rice's records. That it took him 20 years. 20 years.
He's already
I don't
beaten
know, man.
Tony's records.
Yeah. I mean, it's
incredible
I
what
just
we're
hope-
watching.
It really is. And the greatest part about all of this is, and you know what, I hate to say this. It's probably going to sound stupid, like rude, but I know he's going to play out his contract. That's his mindset. I'm playing out my contract. I'm going to play until they kick me out the door. But I know in the back of everybody's mind when you're at 35 years old is how much more do I have left in me? What more do I have to prove? If he doesn't break that record this year, it's almost a shoo-in that he's coming back next year. For sure. So I guess the
If he ends
self-deciding,
up like 15 yards away from Jerry
Oh,
Rice's, all-time
he'll be back.
playoff
Yeah.
yards.
yeah, he'll be back. The whole thing is, I guess, me being selfish and saying, man, I don't want him to
I
quit.
can't imagine what this team would look like without Travis Kelce.
I can't either.
There were so
I can't
many
either.
gotta have it kind of play, especially in the playoffs. So many gotta have it kind of plays, and you just see Mahomes is just like, where's Kelce? Where's Kelce at? Because I know
Yeah.
that one, he's probably open, and two, if I throw him the ball, he's going to be able. If I, throw it to him, it's 3rd and 6. I throw him 4 yards down the field. I know he's going to be able to run that extra couple yards to pick up the first down, right? So even if
Yeah.
he's behind the sticks, I know that he can fight his way to get to the first down marker.
Yeah, it's what we're seeing we'll never see again. No one will ever see again.
You're right.
What he has done in that position, you'll never see again.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is he's not finished. That's the crazy thing about it. Tony played until he was 37.
Right.
I have a feeling Kelsey's going to go ahead and play until he's 37. His contract ends in 2026. I think he's going to play through 2026. I
All
just
right.
I just don't see him going anywhere. He's too happy playing the game. He enjoys it too much. He's embraced his new role.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
this other
real
thing
reason for
too.
him to quit.
So here's the other thing too about that too, JP. If he's still not going, then when you're seeing with Noah Gray and how Noah Gray has come up into the scene and scoring those touchdowns. Now imagine Jared Wiley when he comes back 100% healthy next year, and also look into the future if they draft another guy who is similar to Kelsey. So because we almost
Yeah.
were close to getting Bowers this last draft, and then also 2 drafts ago, Dalton Kincaid. So there's still
Yeah.
the possibility of that potential Kelsey replacement, even though Gray's doing well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I agree.
All right,
Wait a minute, real quick. You know, we talked about this on the show a few times. At the beginning of this game, when Pacheco ran headfirst into the lineman instead of looking for the open hole that was to the left of him, I said, "Well, it's time to put Hunt in." I was pissed. So what the fuck is he doing in here? Why are you starting him right now? This is not the time to be starting him.
Right.
And then Andy said, "Okay, it's time to put Hunt in," because he did. And Hunt just every play figures out a way of gaining yards. His falling forward for yards, his breaking tackles, spin moves, the way he can alter his ankles to not be ankle tackled. I don't know, a lot of people don't notice what he does with his ankles, but he's able to break tackles with his fucking feet. He is a phenomenal running back. Yeah, he's not the bulldozer like Derrick Henry, but at 29 years old, he is playing like a 22-year-old would play. And you can give him 20 carries a game, and he's still going to get 70, 80 yards. He had, I think, 40 plus yards in this game.
Yeah. 8 carries, 44 yards rushing, 5.5 yards per carry.
Yeah,
That's
eight
vintage
carries.
Kareem.
That right there is, and then, I hope and pray somebody just fires Troy Aikman today. The
I don't
shit
even.
that was spewing out of his fucking
God.
mouth about Kareem Hunt. I mean,
About
right at the beginning,
Mahomes.
well, Kareem Hunt hasn't been that good. The Kareem Hunt thing, he hasn't been that, he hasn't had those bursts like he used to have. He's not that great. He hasn't had the season. What the fuck are you talking about? He came in 7 games into the season and almost had 1,000 fucking yards. What are you watching, man?
He's a
This
hate.
guy, God, I've never seen somebody hate
Hater.
as much
And
as
now
him.
this is the worst. This is the worst part. When Mahomes definitely took that hit to the head from, I think, Will Anderson. Oh, that wasn't worth a call. What are you watching? Dude, I straight up had to make that post. I had to make that
Here's
post
the
like,
thing. Here's the thing, though. Aikman says that shit right now, but if that had been him, he'd have been flopping down the field. I watched him play. I know how he played.
For somebody for sympathy, like, oh, come on, guys, look what they did to me.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. He is the guy that he's a flip flopper. All of a sudden, when Kareem broke out a run, then it was, oh, well, Kareem, he's breaking the runs. He's looking good.
He's doing really good. I'm like, don't get complimentary now.
Man, come on, man. I mean, he's just got to stop. Most of these guys, especially the quarterbacks, I take that back. Brady actually embraced the fact that Mahomes is better than him. He's made it very clear.
And it's so crazy. Even the stuff that I say, that's why I respect him. That's why I got more respect for Brady now, because like he's even opened up and said it. Pat is better than me, and I wish I had the skills that this kid had. And he's also mentoring Mahomes on that level of like how to take advantage like chess. I can say all the stuff that I can say, but this thing that Brady is so great at and what makes him as arguably among as the GOAT. He's a chess master. He takes advantages of the opposing team's weakness, or when they're messing up at something, he'll take advantage. Like, I catch them slipping. Let's throw this pass right here so we can draw a penalty. That's why you got, for example,
that's something and you're right. And that is absolutely something that Andy has had to instill in Mahomes, because normally Mahomes wouldn't act that way. You know that. He's a gunslinger. He's the guy that wants to take the chances. Andy has really pushed him to, let's just take what the defense gives us. Let's just take advantage of those mistakes that they make. It's optimal for us. We don't have to be that team that, I don't know, man.
That's why
That's
we're
what
not
makes this
seeing
so scary.
2018 offense, guys, because we don't need to be 2018 offense. We're playing
No.
chess in order, if we want to be three-peating, we do what we have to do in order to get there.
Yeah.
I think he just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Patrick Mahomes said this in the post game when he went on and talked on the field with the sideline reporter, that this
Yeah,
is
I
a
saw it.
complete team. So there's not a more true statement than you can make about this. With that being, do you guys want to get to our offensive and defensive players of the game?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right, Philip, then we'll go JP, and then I'll do mine. So go ahead,
All
Philip.
right.
Okay, the one guy not named
Let's go.
Travis.
Yeah, we'll go offensive first, and then we'll go defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my players not named Xavier Worthy, Mahomes, and Kelsey. I gotta say Kareem Hunt because what you said, JP. It's his vision, man. That's the one thing that Pacheco doesn't have because Pacheco's just too busy running like bam, bam, and like from Flintstones. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, see the field first before you burst out and everything. I think that's why they were banking on putting them out there first. But Kareem, he made the plays that were very necessary. And I already knew that this was going to be a game where Kareem could get over 40 yards rushing and even score because what he does on the ground, especially finding those openings, even though he doesn't have that speed and Pacheco might be a little stronger, it's all up in here, and that's what Kareem has, and he took advantage of that. That's why he's my offensive MVP. I mean, 8 carries, 44 yards rushing. I know that was a little sample, but he gave us a sample of the old Kareem, and that's why I really hope that they try to bring him back in 2025. So that's my offensive guy. Defense, I got to go with my guy, 2-2, Trent freaking McDuffie. I'm going to say this. I think Trent McDuffie is the team MVP, bro. Not named Chris Jones, not named Mahomes, because McDuffie and the way he's led this team, he arguably has the hardest job of anybody on defense, playing the number one cornerback role, especially going up against the number one receiver of an opposing team. He locked down Nico Collins big time today. You should have seen him all over the field. I think there was like 3 plays where Stroud threw it in Collins' direction, and McDuffie was right there to knock it down, and I loved every minute of it. So my guy, 2-time back-to-back All-Pro. Keep it going, McDuff.
Who you got, Quentin? Or is it me or you?
I think, well, I mean, you can go.
It doesn't matter. Look, man, offensively, I'm going to say I got to give it to Travis Kelce. I have to. There's no way of not giving him the nod because he's single-handedly helped us win this game today. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have won this game. It's that simple. He was the key to winning. Him and Kareem both were the key to winning this game. They didn't start off the greatest, but they ended the great. Well, Kelsey did. They just ended the greatest. I think Kelsey was the star of this day.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to say after that. I mean, Kelsey, we just spent a good time talking about him and his history in the playoffs and what he's been able to do. So, my offensive guy, I mean, I think it would be easy to just give it Patrick Mahomes. I mean, quarterback, didn't make any mistakes despite the fact he was under a ton of pressure, right? He didn't throw an interception, still hasn't thrown an interception in the divisional round. But I think I'm going to give it to Xavier Worthy, and I'm going to give it to him for a couple of reasons. Mainly, though, I just want to give it to him because of how much improvement we've seen for him over the year. He had that catch on the sideline where he kind of bobbled it a little bit, but he had great body control, right, to go up and get that ball and to be able to get both of his feet down. I think early in the year, he doesn't get both of his feet down, that close to the sideline, right? We saw that multiple times where when he was running those routes and he was able to physically catch the ball, but it didn't count because he didn't get both of his feet down. You can see that they're definitely using him more in the offense, right? He had that rushing attempt. They gave him on one of those little pitch routes. So they're definitely getting him more involved in the offense. You love to see it. You love to see your tools utilized, especially in big moments. It tells me that they trust him. So I'm going to give it to Worthy because, I mean, he had a couple really big catches, 5 catches for 45 yards in the game. I think those were big 45 yards, right? He had a couple of third down plays that kept the drives going. So I'm going to give mine to Xavier Worthy because I don't want to just give it to Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, that one catch he had earlier, I think it was like that 21-yarder where he turned around and caught it. I love that.
Yeah,
that was just body balance,
body control, and was able to get both of his feet down. Early in the year, let's say that happens in week 3. I don't think he catches that ball. I think
I
Right,
agree
right.
with you.
that is
Yeah.
something that he has worked on all year. We've talked about him needing to work on it, and I think that is dramatic improvement that he's done. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
think that
man.
that's really big to see improvement from your rookie, from your
I
guy that
agree, man.
you're going to need to see him step up over the next couple of years. So yeah, I really want, I really am happy to see that.
It's
Uh,
crazy when you say that too, because I think a lot of his problem earlier in the year was the fact that he was going off college rules. You can be a little more lax when you're catching, in the college than you can in the pros, and that's kind of how he was playing to a degree. And they finally just say, "Hey, man, you're not in fucking college anymore. This is big time. You gotta get your balance. Get
yeah,
your body control down. Get your fucking ankles in where they're supposed to be." And that's what he did. I agree, man. The kid, he give him a year. Give him the rest of this year. Put a ring on his finger. You're going to see somebody that comes out next year and is just balling. And for somebody that is his size, holy shit. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hopkins
Yeah,
he's doing a hell of a lot more than just being on the field.
exactly.
So I agree, man. I think you know, it's hard to pick a defensive guy right now. I could say Leo Chenal for blocking another freaking field goal. I could say that, but that's almost like his thing. It's like, okay, Leo's going to block field goal. We can see that coming. That's just his thing. But man, it's just so hard. I mean, I want to give it to the whole damn defensive line. But you know who I really want to
Absolutely.
give it to? I mean, if I'm going to go, I got to give it to Charles Omenihu. And I say that for one reason. If he wasn't out there today, we didn't have 8 sacks. It's that simple. He has changed this entire defensive line. The day he stepped back on the field, he made a change. I'm just telling you, the guy is the reason why this defensive line is gelled so well against a really good offensive line. It's that simple. They're not a weak group.
I compared
So,
him. I compared him to the Sammy Watkins of the offense a few years ago. He's
yeah,
not a star all by himself, but when you put him out there with other really good players, it steps up his game. It steps up the other guy's game. He really is,
absolutely.
I think, the glue that helps that defensive line. I can't believe you didn't go with George Karlaftis.
Yeah,
I
me
love
neither.
George, and I think George did a great job.
First,
Don't get
first,
me wrong, but I don't know if he'd have had that without Charles
first
being out there.
game with
Right,
3
right.
sacks, especially towards the end there when they were sending pressure. I mean, he was the one that got the sack when they didn't send the pressure down in the red zone. So I think it would be pretty easy for me to give my defensive MVP to him. There are a couple guys that I want to talk about before we finish the show, though, on defense. So obviously George deserves all the flowers in the world, but there are a couple other guys that I think deserve credit. Felix Uzama.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
I think a
Yes.
lot of
Oh
people,
my
a lot of people have
gosh.
been crapping on Felix, and he hasn't turned out to be what a lot of people have. Guy came to play today. I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do. Small plays, but big plays, right? Couple tackles for a loss. He had the sack. Felix, good on you, man. You know, that
And the
is a guy that,
quarterback hit too.
yes, that is a guy that really showed up to play. And on the special teams guy, I'm calling this one out just for me. Nico Remigio, that's my guy. I've been talking
oh
about him for a year and a
Yeah,
half.
Nico, man.
So just needed to throw that out there. I hope he gets more opportunities with the ball. Look, this is a guy that led college football in punt returns for touchdowns, so I'm not surprised to see
yeah,
him have a huge return to start the game. Really wish that
Turk.
Kirk.
they
Oh
were able to
man.
get a touchdown on that first drive. A little disappointed to just get the field goal on that first drive, but yeah, Nico, when you get the ball in his hands and he gets the opportunity to see the field, he showed what he's able to do with that vision and his speed.
Hey man, if you look at it, pretty much everybody on our defensive line, except for I think Mike Dana, had a sack. I mean,
Mike didn't
FAU
do
had
all
a
the
sack.
dirty work. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, FAU had a sack. Karlaftis 3 sacks. Omenihu had sacks. Chris Jones had sack. Everybody had a fucking sack. It was like you get a
You get
sack.
a
It was like
sack.
Oprah was out there.
You
You
yeah,
get a sack.
Oprah.
You get
You
a
get a
sack.
sack. You get a sack. That's right,
I loved it.
girlfriends.
I mean, it was amazing to watch this group gel so well on defense. You know
Right.
what though? Jalen Watson. Jalen fucking Watson.
Yeah. little scary when he went
Yeah.
down, but able to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Get right back up. And Justin Reed had a good game. I mean, he
Yeah.
really did have a good game.
Yeah.
Everybody played their part, man.
Yes.
Everybody, even Nazi Johnson
Even
on
Nazi
defense. I mean,
Johnson,
on
you took
special
my
teams.
word,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Nazi
Everybody
even
played their game,
defense,
man.
he actually held down his man and did very well and did not really allow
Yeah,
anything big. Yeah, they all turning up at the
yeah.
right time. Yeah.
I tell you, man, this is now we're going to be better next week. I think we're going to face the Ravens. That's my pick. I think the Ravens are going to win this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Baltimore.
But I think that's who we're just going to be better next week. And I do like what Mahomes said in the post game presser or the post game interview when she asked him, "Do you think Rust had it?" He said, "No, I'm not going to put it off on Rust. I'm not going to make that as an excuse. We just weren't playing that great at the beginning, but we came together. You know, we heard that 4 times during the game. Well, they're rusty. They're rusty." She asked the question twice at halftime and then at the end of the game. She asked Andy about rust. No, it's not rust. They may have been a little out of sync, but it wasn't rust. Just happens, man.
Yeah.
We always start off slow. People freak out about that, but when haven't we started off slow? The last 3 Super Bowls that we won, we started off slow. That doesn't concern me. It's how we end it. But that's a product of good coaching. When you got a guy like Spags that can read offenses better than the guys on the field and can make those adjustments, Andy can read the defenses and make those adjustments. What are you worried about? It's that simple. You don't have a better coaching duo in the league. And then you got Dave Taub that just turns out on special teams. Turns out. Hey, by the way, Bucker didn't miss anything today.
Yeah, he now he's still doing that follow through
Knee
with
drop.
his knee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But good to see him out there. I know that there were some concerns, rightfully so. Right, he missed a field goal last week, and
what everybody was concerned with was rust. That was actual rust.
yeah, I know, right. But
Yeah.
and then you take a couple weeks off, so to see him go out there and nail those field goals in the wind, right? We saw
Yep.
how that affected the kicking game today.
Yep.
So that's that brings a lot of confidence.
Well, their kicker struggled today. I mean, he struggled.
That's what happened. I think on the broadcast they said he's from Hawaii.
Yeah, he's from Hawaii. I mean, the
Yeah.
cold had to kill him. I mean, he's in the look, man. The guys that are from Hawaii, Tua, all of those guys struggle in that temperature. They just do. He's playing in Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the second time against the Chiefs he's missed an extra point.
Dude, and that one kick, he missed that by a mile. That wasn't even close to the goalpost. That shit was going the other direction.
I've never seen a football do that wasn't tipped. Usually when that happens,
neither.
somebody like they reach their big paw up and it hits like the tip of their finger and the ball just goes all wild. Never seen a ball kicked, nobody touched it, and it just it just curved like a string. I've never seen anything like that.
He said, it says young native. He said, ASC championship game in Arrowhead puts a lot of motivation. It absolutely does. And he says the only season Mahomes is healthy for the playoffs. He's not 100%, but he's damn close. I mean, look, I'll just put it this way: he's as healthy as he can be at this point.
The healthiest he's been all season, and I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the last show, Thursday or Wednesday. The Chiefs, they got healthy at the right time, and that's all that really matters. Collins was actually not doing too great during this game for the Texans. He was hurt a lot. He was on the sidelines, doubled over a whole lot during that game. Got to give the Texans credit, man. 2 years in a row, 2 divisional games. I like that team. It's nice to see a football team that, for the most part, most of their fans, 98% of their fans are good people. They got a good organization, a good head coach, a great quarterback. They're a good football team, and they will go further than what people expect them to. Yeah. They're not the one-hit wonders that everybody thought they were going to be. And that's nice to see. I mean, they're a solid football team. Congratulations to them for getting as far as they did.
Absolutely.
You just happen to have to play the Chiefs. Fuck. I mean, that's hard for anybody. There's always next year for those guys, and the year after that, and the year after that. Can't say that about other teams that were in the playoffs this year. You're not going to say that about. You don't know what's going to happen to Broncos. You don't know
Hey,
what's
it's
going
the
to happen to
second
the.
time. It's the second year in a row that they've been knocked out in the divisional round. I guess you
Yeah,
could say that C.J. Stroud has always made it to the divisional round. So
he has. He's on a streak, 2 years straight. You
yeah,
can't for a rookie. That's pretty damn good. Not only that, if you look at there's starters out there that everybody brags on and talks about how great they are. They haven't done that. Let's see what he say. He said, "I can't wait to see the rush blitz for the Ravens or Bills." Yeah, I agree. It's going to be. I still think it's going to be the Ravens. They're on a mission right now, and I think the Bills' defense is going to let them down yet again. So
especially going against Derrick Henry.
yeah, Derrick Henry, man, they don't have the greatest run D, and Derrick Henry is playing out his fucking shoes at 32 years old. That's simple. He really is. The only time he has a bad game is against us, thankfully. So, that's when old Mike Pinnell steps in and shit goes downhill for everybody when he's on the field. So 36-year-old Mike Pinnell out there making people look like bitches. And that's what he does. So it's that simple. But
Yeah.
anyway, with that being said, what else we got, man?
I think that's it. We'll see who the Chiefs play after Sunday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
Bills Ravens, which honestly might be the best game of the year up to this point. I think that's going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, but I do think the Ravens are going to pull this one out.
I think the
Yeah,
Ravens are going to pull it off too. I don't think that the Bills defense, I think there's just such a size disadvantage for the Ravens run game versus the Bills defense. So I think the Ravens, but I think it's going to be a hell of a game. We're going to see Superman version of Josh Allen. I think it's going to be great. Especially
we see
because
a Superman version of Josh Allen.
especially because we have no stakes in it. So we just get to be football fans and watch this game. We don't got to worry about we don't have to worry about the outcome.
No, we really don't. I mean, both those teams we've beaten multiple times in the playoffs, and I don't think it's going to change this year. I really don't. Andy and Spags, they always save the best for last.
Right.
And people don't understand that about this coaching staff, man. I can't say enough about them. Andy is the absolute best at hiding his cards. Spags knows exactly when to pull his tricks out, and he does it. He sees the weakness, and he exploits it like nobody, man. You can't ask for a better group. I'm just glad they're together, and they're going to stay together. Anybody that thinks that Spags is going to be a head coach this year, I wouldn't read too much into that.
Nah.
Because from what I understand, pretty much everybody's got their minds made up on who they're going to hire. The teams that are looking for a head coach right now have who they're going to hire in place already, pretty much. They already know who they're going to bring in. So, and by the way, from what I understand, Johnson is going to Chicago. He may change his mind, but it's a 99% chance he goes to Chicago because he really likes Caleb Williams. Good luck with that. Anyway, with that being said, good win. On to the AFC Championship game.
To the Arrowhead Invitational.
The Arrowhead Invitational. Pack a lunch, motherfuckers, because you're going to need to eat real well coming into Arrowhead. That's all I can say. Especially with the way this team is gelled. That being said, yay. Enjoy your Sunday. Stress-free Sunday. And we will talk to you guys. What day? Wednesday? We're going to do Wednesday this week?
Yeah.
We're going to do Wednesday this week, everybody. So join back in on Wednesday. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll talk to you then. Peace out, everybody.